If you pay contractors in your business, then your 1099 season actually started months ago. And if you waited till now, until January, then guess what? You're already late and the clock is ticking to get your you-know-what in order. What's up, guys? Mike back at it again, co-founder, partner of Ledgerly, alongside my good friend and partner in crime, Andrew D'Amico, bringing you the latest and greatest when it comes to tax strategy, compliance, or just overall accounting knowledge. We're in our Q1 series when it comes to all things compliance. So if you love hearing us chop shop on all things tax, accounting, compliance, the whole 9 yards, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for weekly videos just like this one. So here's the deal, people. Every year, business owners get blindsided by the 1099 requirement at the end of January. They forget to collect their W-9s from vendors, classification issues, payment issues with vendors, people pointing fingers at each other. Hey, you forgot to send me a W-9. No, I sent it. Hey, you're not sending me the right amount of money. You're issuing me a 1099 for the wrong amount. It's an absolute catastrophe if this explodes. So this video is for any business owner, freelancer, agency, real estate investor, service-based business, consumer goods business, anyone that is paying someone $600 or more in their business as a contract. And we're talking about it now because that clock is ticking. You have till January 31st. But don't worry, don't fret. That's what we're going over today. Today, we are going to be giving you the full contractor compliance system to implement immediately to get your stuff in order from the last year and make sure you don't run into the same issue in years to come. So here's one of the problems. This is where business owners run into a lot of different trouble. Okay, so the first problem is they collect the W-9 after paying their contractor. This is like an original sin, people. Are you going to pay an attorney or a CPA or heck, put a down payment on a home that you're buying without signing a contract or having something legally binding to show who you're actually paying the money to? Then why would you pay a contractor without obtaining their W-9? And once someone is paid, it becomes a nightmare to actually get that W-9 from the vendor to put them in the system to issue them a 1099 come January. Another problem, they don't know who actually needs a 1099. The rules are pretty simple. If you paid someone $600 or more for services and they're not a corporation, like an S corporation, C corporation, then you got to send them a 1099 NEC. But this is where it comes full circle. If you're not updating your books on a monthly basis, or even worse, even have a bookkeeping software like QuickBooks, or even worse, you're paying everything out of your personal account, that's where it gets sloppy, and we want to avoid that. Another problem, business owners are constantly confusing the 1099 NEC, which is non-employee compensation, with 1099 miscellaneous. Now, a few years back, under Trump's original term, this all changed. So if you're a contractor, you get 1099 NEC, which is subject to self-employment tax. 1099 miscellaneous is where rents, awards, royalties, all of that stuff is reported. But for the sake of this video, we are talking about your contract. Miscellaneous still has the same requirements. Those things are still due by January 31st. So make sure you get those in order as well. But today in this video, we're talking about your contractors, which more frequently than not are accounting for more than 90% of your 1099s that you're issuing. And then another problem is that there is no onboarding for these vendors. There's no standardization. There's just random emails, back and forth, phone calls, text messages. It's just a mishmash of information and data when it really should be in one centralized location. This is where maybe a Bill.com or a Ramp or a QuickBooks Online, that's where that comes in, and you keep it all in that one area. So when it comes down to, do I, as the business owner, need to issue someone a 1099? It's very simple. Let's recap it here. Did you pay them over $600 during the year? Did they perform services for you as a contractor? And are they an individual or an LLC or a partnership? Then yes, we have to give them a 1099 NEC. But if we didn't pay them on over $600, or we purchased goods for them, or they're a corporation, like an S corporation or a C corporation, or we paid on a credit card, then no, we don't need that W-9. We're not going to give them a 1099. So let's actually walk through the framework, the strategy, the actual compliance system of what we need to keep in mind. First of all, the golden rule. Big star. We're going to highlight this in green. We're going to highlight this. This is crucial. Never pay a contractor before getting the W-9 from them. Because guess what? Once you get that W-9, that's going to save you a lot of stress and headaches. On the W-9, in fact, there are checkboxes and areas. There's going to be They're going to put their name, their business name, their address, their social security number, or EIN number. That's great and all, but there's also check boxes that say, are you a sole prop? Are you a LLC? Are you a LLP? Are you an S Corp? Or are you a C Corporation? And guess what, people? This can actually take out a lot of your headache and a lot of your planning for 1099 season, because guess what? If they're an S Corporation or a C Corp, doesn't matter. We don't need to generate a 1099. No, 1099. So if we got that box checked off, yep, we'll take the W-9. We're going to put it in your vendor file for compliance purposes, but we don't need to worry about a 1099 filing requirement for them. This is just a topic that is hammered to death, and it's just, if the corporation box is checked, don't worry about it. Don't fret. But if one of these boxes is checked, then boom, we need a 1099. Yes, 1099. 1099 for these people. Let's get this straight so we are not scrambling come January. I'm getting so worked up because we are doing this right now for clients. So make sure that you are documenting getting that 1099 prepared, but we can't get that 1099 prepared if we don't have the W-9 first. W-9 first, 1099 second. Go on a date first, pleasure second type thing. Trying to keep this as G-rated as possible, but get that through that thick noggin that we all have. Let's understand this. Very important. Okay, so that is the number one rule for the compliance strategy steps, if you will. So never pay a contractor until you have that W-9. Make sure you have the correct information: name, address, EIN, social security number. Step 2 is the contractor compliance checklist. Yes, step 1, making sure that we have that W-9 on file before even paying the contractor, before even thinking about paying the contractor. Maybe you also need to get a certificate of insurance on file for liability purposes. Hey, do we have an agreement? What is this contractor, what is this vendor doing for our business on a service basis level? Then what is the scope of what they're doing? Do we have a formal written engagement letter with them? What are our payment terms? Are we paying them upon them performing their service right on the day that they're performing it? Are we net 30 terms with them? And hey, what is their payment information? Are we mailing them a check? Are we doing ACH? We're not doing personal Venmo, I'll tell you that. But making sure that we have a compliance tracker in place. Hey, I mentioned earlier, QuickBooks Online, Bill.com, Ramp, there's all these other accounts payable platforms that will actually track this for you. You put the vendor's email in, boom, it sends them an email. Hey, fill out your W-9, fill out your payment information. Here's your engagement letter. XYZ, it keeps it in one nice area for you and your team to review and also be ready for 1099 season. All right, let's look at a real life case study here. So let's say you hired 3 contractors during the year in 2025. You had a designer for $1,800, virtual assistant for $9,200, and an editor for $4,500. Scenario 1, there's no compliance system. There's no W-9s collected. You're scrambling in January. One of the contractors disappears. You're herding cats, if you will. And guess what? You file them late or incorrectly. Wah, wah, wah. The IRS for sure is going to impose a penalty up to $60 to $310 per month, depending on the material list, lateness, etc. So there's a lot of risk for penalties, interest, and audit exposure for your business. Well, don't be a Goofus. Don't be a Goofus. Let's be a Gallant. And let's do scenario B. Let's have that compliance system. Let's collect those W-9s before we're even paying Joe Schmo. All vendors and payments are tracked. You have the bookkeeping and QuickBooks. You have 1099s filed and electronically by January 10th. Wow, this is a goody two-shoe. IRS penalties are avoided. You have clean books and records. You're ready to give them to your accountant, and you are good to go. You're a Gallant. I don't know how to spell that, but you are a Gallant. That's who we want to be, people. Let's be compliant. Let's have a system in place. So because I'm a nice guy, rather than just telling you, I'm going to give them to you. Here are your action steps for 2026 going forward, making sure that we have a compliance system intact. Let's recap here. Never, never, never pay a contractor without a W-9. Create and use a vendor intake packet, whether it's QuickBooks Online, Bill.com. Make sure you're tagging and checking off the right boxes in QuickBooks. Make sure you're reviewing your contractor payments. Golden rule, separate business and personal, people. If you're operating a business and you have business and personal commingled, then you're not operating a business. You're actually piercing your business. You're suffocating your business and you're piercing the corporate veil. Your asset protection goes away. Also, let's identify who actually needs a 1099 NEC. Prepare those forms early in January. Let's file them electronically, and let's make sure we're doing this right to avoid January becoming a very painful month. So this all being said, if you want to make sure that you are not only in compliance, but making sure that you are setting compliance from the get-go, make sure you follow these steps, subscribe weekly for these videos, or if you don't even want to be bothered with filing in this, contact us. Let's book a call. We're happy to take care of these filings for you. And hey, if you haven't hit that subscribe button by now, make sure you do it. Stay tuned for weekly videos like this.